We would continue with AM Talk, and my guest this morning, Fred Agbenyo, is Deputy Communications Officer of the NDC, the National Democratic Congress, and Kamal Dean Abdullahi is NPP National Nasara Coordinator. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Good morning, Mama V.
Okay, so let's start off with was it disappointing game yesterday against Senegal? Were you expecting a defeat? Honestly.
Good morning, Mama V, and good morning to your cherished viewers. Should I say I was expecting a defeat, or should I say I was surprised? I think I was really surprised.
You were surprised?
I was not. I was not surprised about the outcome of the game. I think that every national team that does not have the backing and the support of its people, every national team that the people have thrown their hands on, can go ahead and do your own thing your own way. It is difficult for a team like that to succeed. And I think the way and the manner our players conducted themselves in Brazil, the World Cup, several Ghanaians have up to now not forgiven them, so to speak. And so therefore, the enthusiasm that we have expected when Blaster is playing, you know, the euphoria, seeing people around, hooting horns all over the place, the flags on vehicles and what have you. We didn't see any of those. Even the media, I don't know how many people really hyped the match as well.
We talked about it. We wore the jersey, for instance, on the show yesterday.
You had no choice. You have to do that, maybe. Yeah, perhaps really.
We have a choice.
I don't know if you really
have a choice. Exactly.
I don't know if you really.
We always
just like you saying Ghanaians were not so enthusiastic about it,
exactly.
So they had a choice not to be enthusiastic. Yeah. Okay, you said they had a choice.
People didn't really want to support them, but they listened to the commentary and they watched it.
Yeah.
They were hoping for a surprise.
You have a choice, Mama V. You have a choice to either support, not to support as a Ghanaian. Just like you refuse to support.
Can we just
Fred.
I don't know. I followed the team after the World Cup. There was serious effort to see how best we can restructure our national teams, because we've not been performing too well lately, and what some people have described as indiscipline that has crept into the national team, where you have a situation where players can hold the entire country to ransom in spite of the resources that we've injected into their preparations and training and stuff like that. So I would have expected them to come back now, show a little bit, want to die for the country, want to compensate the people of this country. I didn't see that on the pitch. I watched the match for 90 minutes and I didn't see that dying spirit in the match. I saw the team play 15 minutes. Out of the 15 minutes, the rest was just a child's play, joking, running around the field. That was a question I asked myself towards the tournament proper, when I heard the team was camping somewhere in Spain. And I asked myself, we are going to play back here in Guinea, look at the weather and all that. What informed the decision to take the team to Spain? The weather, would the players be able to acclimatize to the weather in Guinea-Bissau before the tournament properly commences?
That resulted in the defeat, you think?
Because after 15 minutes, I realized the players were worn out. Almost everybody, the tackles were not coming, nobody was really running, the spaces were empty, and it's like, what is happening here? The energy was not there. The energy second half was really very abysmal. I have technical eyes for football, but I followed football for long. I used to be a referee myself, maybe you didn't know that.
But you never played?
I played football in my school days and all that. I thought I could become a footballer one day. So when I watch football, I don't just enjoy the flow of the game, but technically I want to see what is happening on the field. At a point in time when they substituted, I forgot the player they substituted in, and they brought Wakasu. When they brought Achu out, they brought Wakasu, I said, I thought that boy, Asante, that boy is a player who is able to hold on to the ball. Because that is what we did at that time. I'm not the coach in charge of the team, but that is what I thought. That's a guy who can hold on to the ball. He can put pressure on the defense. But we're playing too much defensive. We laid back.
Our coach doesn't really know the players.
He doesn't know the players. He doesn't understand the terrain. But that is why we have an assistant coach that has been with this team for all this year. So yes, it should be falling back on him. It should be guiding you. We even qualified the team more or less to the tournament, so he should be able to give that technical advice. I didn't really see that. I think that it is awful. It's abysmal. I'm disappointed. Ghana didn't deserve what we got yesterday. And if I had opportunities, South Africa, yes, it is true they lost yesterday, but they played their hearts out. Technical mistakes here and there. They scored an own goal. The keeper stood and allowed the ball to just slip through his fingers into the net. That was bad. But you saw the determination, the willingness for the guys to die for their country. I didn't see that in the Blasters. And I don't know.
What did you see? Did you watch the game?
I did. Except to say that it was quite erratic. My consistency in watching the game was not so you know.
Well, because of electricity or what?
Well, I'll just come into it. You know, sometimes basically.
No, he said erratic,
No,
so.
Absolutely.
It's just a choice of a wrong word.
It's a very famous word. It's a very famous
wrong word.
No.
It was just a choice of a wrong
Okay,
word.
so
That
can
is
we-
not what they
let's
wanted to
just
I
say.
never
hear
knew
you.
we were having
What
English
is-
lessons or vocabulary lessons this
No
morning.
vocabulary
actually.
lessons.
Anyway,
But that is not what you meant to say.
I'm supposed the onus
Okay,
lies
go
on me
ahead.
to explain why I'm
Anyway.
using the word erratic.
Anyway, go
but
ahead.
not you to tell me whether it's
Mama
wrong or not. Now, you see, we've got figure of speeches anyway, but I don't need to be drawn into this, you know,
Anyway.
trivial argument, in getting vocabularies to use or not. Well, the point I'm trying to make is that, first of all, our Black Stars are not adequately prepared, as we're all told. As in, you know, you could not see the euphoria, you know, surrounding the preparation of the Black Stars towards this tournament. As in Ghanaians, I mean, seeing the fever, the tournament fever descending on all of us. We know Black Stars is going out there, you know, to engage in the tournament, and therefore all Ghanaians come out there talking about it, see people wearing replica jerseys and all that. You don't see those, you know, you don't have those things prior to the game. That alone tells you that we as a nation, we were not adequately prepared. We're ill-prepared, kind of. On a lighter note, I believe that the doomsday that has characterized the preparation towards the Black Star indeed sometimes even affects all of us. Because indeed, when you have lights out and you have to prepare to come to the show, you can't even adequately prepare. What you plan to wear, you may not wear it because you don't have even iron to get your dress iron. And on a lighter note, I said, you know, let me just, I said on a lighter note, I just told you something. Please,
the gentleman will not discuss it.
I know. What did I say? I rightly told you it was just on a lighter note. Anyway, you can define it.
It did not affect your watching the game yesterday,
Oh,
did it?
it did. That's,
Okay.
I'm coming to you. I said, look, I watched the game erratically. The doomsday did not allow me to have a
Can you
consistent watch.
imagine?
That was the point. You know, now, if you are talking of comic relief, if you are talking of comic relief, we have
a big plant.
if you are talking of comic relief, we have the Bobokala of Ghanaian politics sitting there. You know him very well. He's a general secretary. That is a problem. Now let's
Why? No, wait.
no, we can't see that when we get to
where
it.
from
No, he's
this
talking
attack?
of
Where is that coming from?
Oh, not too long ago we had a comic relief in the system. But don't worry,
but
we'll
we're
get
not
to that.
talking about him
We're not
right
talking
now.
about him. I know, but he's talking of comic relief, and I'm just answering to
say
him.
that.
I'm telling him
brother did
we
this
have
well
a
last
comic
night.
reliever. All right, we have someone who is a comedian in Ghanaian
I didn't
politics.
hear him use
You don't know
that.
that?
No,
Oh,
he didn't use
he
that.
mentioned it. He said that was a
Me?
comic relief.
Okay, let's get back.
Okay, no, that's
let's
no
get
problem.
back on
You see,
track.
but more importantly, I think that the Black Stars, in my view, I'm opinion that yes, the preparation towards the tournament, for me, wasn't quite characterized with very good euphoria, and the enthusiasm wasn't there and all that, you know. Again, I have a problem, or I had a bit of a problem with the technical handling, or the technical handlers of the team, so to speak, the coach and all that. Frankly speaking, like Fred said, the way manner changes were done, in fact, to me, even though I am not a football pundit, as it were, but then it was a bit questionable. Now, you also added that knowing the players is very important. How well do we have our coach knowing his players that he was going to field, he was going to use and all that, was also quite problematic. Again, the absence of Asamoah Gyan affected us.
Okay,
strongly.
So you felt his absence?
Yes, I felt his absence, honestly. You know, sometimes there's this flow when you are so much used to a player you play with and all that. Indeed, even though all of them are used to each other. But, you know, there's a commanding way of striking, you know, and when you have a striker who commands and who is able to get calls for balls where appropriate and all that, then you will have a very good game. His absence actually affected us, and I pray and hope that by our next match, he should be fit to play the game and all that. But let us not also be completely, you know, taken off, you know, or as in completely dashing our hopes completely. Because the fact is that first match, we might have performed poorly, but maybe the subsequent matches is going to prove better.
So you think
I want
there's
to believe
hope?
that, as Ghanaians, we have a choice.
But, you know,
And
some people even have issues with their objective there. I mean, if the GFA president has come out to say they should go and do well, then that is not something that we should be excited about. We can't just watch them go and do well. What is go and do well?
That's what I say. It all boils down to preparation. Who prepares them? The GFA has a huge role to play in this. The Ministry of Youth and Sport or Sport Ministry has a lot of role to play. I believe that, yes, we've not had complaints about, monies and due them and all that. No, but is it psychologically? Did we prepare them well? Did we psych them to go out there? Okay. Did we also give them the support that is much needed? But I'm saying it's too early in the day for us to.
So there's a lot more.
No, there's a lot more to go. We can still
that objective
do better.
of go and do well. Do you think that is what is probably affecting us? Maybe not the players, but us as a country, as you know.
Well, you have a country that have not seen a cup for over 30 years. A country whose citizens are dying to see a cup. Then you are going for a major tournament, and your objective is that go and do well. What's the definition of go and do well? If it's about just go and do well, we have always done well. We have gone to Africa Cup of Nations. We are the finals a few times. We played the semi-finals a few times. Played the quarter-finals a few times. If that is what we want to call do well, then I would say we have always been doing well. So that is not a realistic objective or a target to set. And so maybe this is the definition. Don't conceive 5 goals. Don't conceive 10 goals. If you conceive 1, 2, that is doing well. You see, I think that our FA has been pampered for far too long. I don't know what is happening. Sometimes, I don't know, but I tend to believe in the approach some people exhibit in Nigeria. What is this thing FIFA said, don't interfere in football? So everybody sit back and watch, and people joke with the passion of the nation, the heart of the people. They play cha-cha. With it, nobody cares, with impunity. For how long are we going to continue like that? I think that we have pampered this FA for too long.
What do you want us to do?
The same way when light goes off in Ghana today, there are people that are supposed to man our electrical issue, but the president bashed from morning to evening. What is all this? What is Kwasi Nyankte's guys doing? They've been there for too long. The coach doesn't know the players. They have been in this country. They know these players. We know the role they play with the invitation of these players. Is that the best of players we can assemble as a nation?
Friend,
we know the criteria.
It's not
we know let me jump in on point. You know the criteria. You see, there are a lot of things we don't say in the open, and I think that the time has come for us to call a spade a spade.
The GFA is not the coach or the manager.
You see, I'm saying that there are several things that we don't say out there. People know what happens behind the scenes. Don't we know how players are assembled in our national team? Don't we know whose boys are out there, who they must make sure that their boys are invited to the national team? Don't you know how people are using the national team to promote and sell their players abroad? We know all the things that they do. Don't we know even sometimes agitation from players for money from the states is instigated by leadership of
So if we know that there are some illegalities going on there, why are they still there?
That's what I'm saying.
Why haven't we used all the things that we know against them?
We have pampered them, and they hide around that close. Oh, FIFA said we shouldn't interfere. All of us have a role to play.
How?
FIFA said nobody should interfere. FIFA said nobody. Let me learn, my brother. Just take it easy.
We'll give you 2 minutes to finish that.
You understand? So I have a difficulty. If we are not prepared to continue to play football, Ghana, that's one thing we are noted for, our football, our soccer. We don't really do well in the other event. Maybe soccer, boxing. Our boxing today is down. Football, at least, that we're able to use to entertain ourselves too. We have nothing really to show for it. Why do we continue to maybe waste so much resources in that area? Maybe, just maybe, we should start thinking of investing in sports infrastructure, building the younger teams, and maybe give a break on this whole thing called the national team for now, and restructure from the base and see how it works out in future. Because some of us
dissolve the Black Stars.
Because where we are now, from the management team down, the FA we have is simply cannot continue to do their work. Maybe they have done their best. Kwasi Nyankte, they will applaud him. The first FA president to take this country to a Senior World Cup. Yes, he has done his bit, but I think that fatigue has set in. The ideas are finished. Somebody has to come and continue from where he left off. He cannot be there in perpetuity. I think some of us are getting worried.
Come on, 1 minute on this one. We'll wrap up.
Well, I was just trying to say that the excuse, maybe if it is, that the coach or our coach doesn't know too well the players, of course, should not be an excuse. I believe that we hired him because he has a technical eye. And what is more important is that, yes, you train your players, you prepare them for tournaments or matches ahead of you and all that. And I believe that one with a technical eye should be able to, deduce as to whether or not can use that player or this player on the field. You don't need to know them very well to, as it were, fill them. That's one. And two, this argument that we have our FA hiding under a clause by FIFA that there shouldn't be interference of government in the affairs of the football administration in your country. Indeed, one thing I want my brother to know is that, first of all, we can have all the excuses or all the allegations that we're making or he's labeling right now. However, fundamentally, on principle or in principle, do we have laws of FIFA being broken by FA? If no, then it means we are not hiding under the law. We are only seeking to ensure that the law works. We are a nation that cannot live in isolation. Let's remember that. We are a nation that must at least live up to treaties, bilateral, multilateral treaties that we sign to, conventions that we sign to, and all that. For me, I am not holding brief for anyone from the FA. I'm only saying that let the principle work. If government interference is not supposed to be in FA business, government interference must not be in it. It is not also to say that, yes, one who is at FA, because government cannot interfere, go ahead and then use our money anyhow, or go ahead and ill-prepare our players for tournaments. That's not what I'm saying. However, principle is principle. Until and when we get out of FIFA, and say we are out of FIFA, we want to be alone, just like North Korea, was. I don't know whether they are still or they are now part of it and all that. Basically, if that happens, which means principle cannot hold us to task. But if there's not, then principle works. So let's allow that. As government, we have signed to the pact. So let it
Maybe
go.
just a very quick intervention on this particular issue. You see, when you go out there in Europe and the rest, their FAs does not depend on the states, on government, for resources to run their
Absolutely.
Don't they pay you back?
You understand?
You have to.
Don't they pay you back? I mean,
no,
when they went to the World Cup, for instance,
find out the money.
you gave
Find out the money. No, not necessarily.
No,
find out the money that went into the preparation of the team to the World Cup.
And government
The money that we got from there cannot be said to be a payback.
Oh, really?
Yes, you can find out. Go and check the figure, put the figures together.
No,
you understand? So, Mama, let's continue.
Yeah, you're saying in Europe and elsewhere,
the point I'm making is
they don't depend on the.
So if FIFA is going to sit there and say that, okay, out there, because government does not really get so much involved, government interference should be very minimal, they should even get involved. That is appreciable, but not here in Ghana, where everything you need, you come to government to do it. Government put money into something, and yet government doesn't have the locals to find out.
What would government love to do, really, if they were allowed?
Maybe, if somebody knows that their powers are not beyond the state can call things to order. The state can even call people to be fired and all that. I'm sure they'll live up to expectation. But these are people who think that we can go to World Cup and lose all the matches, yet we get all our winning bonuses, we come back, nobody can say anything, nobody can sack us. Worst case scenario, people will talk, when they're tired, they'll keep quiet. My job is still there for me, I'm still doing my work.
So why don't government refuse to fund them?
And that is what we must get to, maybe. But are we all going to accept that? As a people, are we going to accept that?
You didn't consult us when you were flying the money to Brazil.
So
you have the power to decide not to fund them.
I have my personal view and position on all those stuff. Money that was taken to Brazil and money that was not taken to Brazil. I thought that these are persons we have given opportunity as a nation. People who either were not knowing who were given chance to play under 17, play under 20, blah, blah, and finally they've been recognized. They are making huge resources out there. I'm saying that all of us have people out there. Some of the players are our friends. We talk to them. And some of the things that are happening in Brazil may not necessarily be just the players. The big men behind them instigate them because they too must get their money back. The players get so much money, they could even afford to say, hey, nation, we don't want this money. But I am telling you, we're all our friends among them. They call us and we talk. You understand? So, I don't know, but I think that this country, really, the time has come for us to call a spade a spade. We should say that it is. We should crack the whip where we have to.
You are closer to government. So is government thinking about, refusing to fund the GFA or the Stars?
No, that has not come up in any meeting I've sat in. I don't know, but maybe it is time some of us make some of these proposals. Not necessarily to say we'll not fund them, but the national team, I think we can do something more. There's something that I think we can do. And maybe the coming days, if the Youth and Sports Ministry and the people in charge want to look at the other options available to the states, why not? We can explore those other options.
All right, let's